A mechanic that the best freestylers struggle with in training. A mechanic that is near impossible to score even in training. I'll be scoring this mechanic in this video. This mechanic is where you do a jaxi pop on your own post. If you come off your back post, you will keep a flip reset. You then have to do a full field air dribble into musty flick. But the hardest part about this mechanic is how difficult and inconsistent it is to get the pop on the post. When the ball rolls up the post, it comes off the post. This makes it impossible to do the jaxi pop 99% of the time. 1 year ago I scored my first of these. But there was one problem. It bounced just before it went in. So in this video I'm going to show my journey to scoring this mechanic without a bounce. Before I get into my attempts, make sure to like, comment and subscribe to my channel. Every interaction with this video will boost this video and help me a lot, so let's hit 40 likes on this video. This is my journey trying to score this mechanic. As I was saying, this mechanic is incredibly hard to perform, mainly because when the ball rolls up the post, it comes off the post. When you do a jaxi pop, the ball has to be on the wall to get the pop. So this makes it a massive problem trying to score this mechanic. But every 100 tries, there is one where the ball sticks to the wall. You then need to be in the perfect position on the ball and have the ball perfectly positioned inside the goal. A lot of the time you either pinch the ball outfield or you bounce off the ball. So realistically, 1 every 200 times you get a good setup. Still, after getting a good setup, you still need to do a full air dribble, which is very hard to do under pressure. But I spent a few hours trying to score this mechanic, and after a long time I finally scored a great goal. You have to try this mechanic out, as this is one of the most fun mechanics I've learnt. You can do this mechanic pretty easily without going off the back post, but that is part of the challenge. Your mechanics needs to be extremely good to be able to do this mechanic. I have tutorials all through my channel and description if you want to improve your mechanics to be able to perform this mechanic. A lot of the time I did get the jaxi pop, but every time I did, I panicked and failed the musty flick and air dribble. I personally found the air dribble the hardest part of this mechanic, as you need to gain height really quickly and not hit the ceiling. As I said at the start of the video, I did score this mechanic in early 2021. The only problem with that shot was that there was a small bounce. That small bounce had been bugging me ever since, and I really wanted to score this mechanic again, but without a bounce. Overall, this mechanic has spent me tons and tons of hours trying to score it. It didn't take that long to score this time, but over the span of 2 years I've spent a lot of time trying to perfect this mechanic. I don't think this mechanic will ever be scored consistently, or in any private match 1 versus 1 freestyles. This is because this shot is so difficult to do, and nearly impossible to do consistently.
When I'm with you, I am able to keep pushing my limits, and all the drive that I have, well, I'm going the distance with you. I didn't know what I had till I knew what was missing, and everything that I dread, well, I built a resistance with you. Catch me when I fall, and I'll keep you on the ground.
A lot of people always ask me for my settings, so here are all of my freestyle settings. This is a complete guide for Rocket League settings in 2023. I will go over every single setting to make you better at freestyle. I'm trying to get 30 likes in this video, so make sure you help me out and hit that like button as it brings this video to new people. If you want to see specific settings for specific mechanics, for example flip resets, no flipping, air dribbles, musty flicks, stuff like that, I've got settings all over my channel to help you out, and I've got a description. In my description I've got a playlist of all of those in there. Starting off the first page where it's gameplay, everything in here is default, but if anything is different to mine, maybe it will make you better, so I don't think it will. Maybe the input buffer is changed, but I'm not sure. The second page is camera settings. If you have Baxmod, open up camera preset and you'll find a lot of pro settings. To start with, I've got no camera shake on at all. I'm sure no one has that on anyway. Then you want your field of view at 110. You can have this at 100, but I prefer 110. Your height 110 as well. You can have this at 90 or 100. Or if you want to do flip resets, maybe a bit higher, but I find 110 is a good middle ground. The angle -4. You can have this a lot higher if you're doing flip resets, but I think -4 is another good middle ground. Stiffness 0.4. The higher you go, the less your camera will go away from your car when you're boosting. So I think 0.4 is good, because I don't really like the camera to stay completely still against my car, and at the same time I don't want it to go too far away. The swivel speed I've got it as 1. Transition speed 1.3, these don't matter too much. And inverted swivel I've got on. I find this easy with air dribbles, so I'd recommend you use it. For my control settings, I'm using a PS4 controller, and I'll scroll through all of my controller settings now. These are my dead zone settings. Steering 2.00, aerial 2.00. I've got these for this because air dribbling is easier the closer to 1 it is, and musty flicks and flip resets the easier the closer to 10 it is. So I think 2.0 is a very good middle ground, and I personally prefer this out of all of them. It's overall better to have them more to the left than more to the right. Dodge dead zone 0.2, no controller dead zone 0.2, and dodge dead zone 0.5. The controller dead zone, this is, a lot of people say that stalling you need to have it 0.3. I normally have it as far to the left as I can before stalling. I can do it consistently, so I can consistently stall at 0.2, so I've got it at that. Then dodge dead zone 0.55, that's just good for all round moving around, air rolling, everything. Vibration disabled, and anything lower I don't use because I don't have a keyboard. For interface, I make name tags a bit bigger and change the match notifications, but that's it really, there's nothing else for that. For video, I've got everything for performance, and you can have the transparent goalposts on, that might help you in comp.